I always find it so interesting that the things, like when I notice that things that I am like really judgmental about, or that like give me the icks about other people's like behavior or things that they do, um, when I notice myself doing it, I realized this yesterday when I was really having that like, um, chunky evil egg on my shoulder hair telling me that like, this is stupid, I shouldn't be joining this program. Like I, should just do this on my own, like all of that. Like I even thought, I was like, oh, I bet I could look up um, like the companies that make the like products or whatever. I'm like, I bet there's only like a handful of manufacturers. And so like those same like drinks and shakes and soup, I bet you can buy like, for like that's under a different name, right? That's like private labeled under a different name. I even looked that up to try and like cheat the system and be like, I'll just buy this stuff and do it on my own. Like, and that comes back to me realizing too that there's like almost this block around deservingness. Like I don't, like subconsciously, I don't think I deserve support, or that I deserve, the access and the privilege to a program like this or something. Like it's really some deep therapist field day content. Um, and it was funny because as I was doing that, I was like, oh my God, you're doing what clients do to you that makes you crazy. So I'm a designer, right? And so I design people's, homes and spaces and things like that. And so I will have, the process where like I go through with someone and design their entire bathroom space, right? Like all of the tile and the fixtures and the lighting and, the layout, like just design absolutely everything. And then they'll totally ghost me. Like I put together these beautiful image galleries. I make it so easy, so fun. I'm really mindful of their budget, all of it, right? I'm good at what I do. Um, and then I will get ghosted. I won't hear from them. And then later I'll find out that they like took the image gallery and they went online and they bought stuff that looked like what I picked out. And then they come back when they realize that it's all plastic garbage and it's breaking and it's junk, and they should have listened to the professional that knew what they're talking about, right? So like what they end up doing, while it maybe looks similar to what I had designed for them, it doesn't last and it doesn't feel good. Like the feel of it doesn't feel good. It feels cheap. It feels like a shortcut. You can see it. And it affects everything. It affects their property value. It affects the function. It affects, it's like they spend all this time going through construction and then shit breaks a year later. And I get so mad because I'm like, I know. Like that's literally why my job exists, because this isn't just, you don't know, like unless this is your job, right? Like you don't know what's junk and what's not and what's overpriced and what's like all of it. But I do. And so it makes me crazy when people don't utilize me for that. And even the design service that I do, I even charge for that. It comes with purchasing the products from our store. So it's like, it's infuriating when I have that situation. And then on the flip side, the best thing is when somebody walks in the door and they're so overwhelmed and they look around and they're like, oh my God, you have beautiful things. Like, oh, and you have lighting too, and you have this. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I do. And I explain to them the process. And I'm like, I can see how overwhelmed you are. Don't stress about this. Don't stress about researching all of the different toilets and all of the different, like, I just know all that information. I've been doing this for 20 years. I just know. So use me, utilize me. Let's hang out. Let's make this fun. And I do. And the people that like fully surrender to that, right? That are like, all right, like this is, and the first thing that I asked them is like, what do you want it to feel like? Not just what you want it to look like. I'm not really interested in that. I want to know what you want it to feel like when you go in that space. And one of the things I'll ask is like, think of a hotel that you've stayed in that you loved. Like, what about it? What did you love? What made it feel luxurious to you? What made it feel relaxing to you? Like, and I'll have these conversations with people to kind of more deeply understand, like, okay, what do you really want it to feel like? Not just like, I don't want people to just end up with like the trendy bathroom because they think that's what the cool kids are doing, because turns out cool kids don't know what they're doing, and their bathroom's gonna look dated in 5 years. And so it's like really focusing, you know, like my main focus is designing these spaces that will last, that people will love for a long time and feel comfortable in for a long time, right? And it makes me so happy when I have those clients that get it, that surrender to it. I become friends with these people. How many times I've gone over to someone's house after their master bathroom is complete and like sat on their floor and had a glass of wine with them. It's glorious. Like it becomes such a fun, it can be really fun. Construction can also be awful. Trust me, I know I'm living in a house that's under construction. So all that to say, right? Like, here I am. The thing that makes me the craziest is when people try and take a shortcut on something important, like their home, right? Yet I was second guessing and trying to take shortcuts on something really important, my home, my body. Like, you get one of these, one. Now, I have been meticulous about places that I've lived in. I have gotten my deposits back on my apartments. I keep a clean home. Why I take better care of physical spaces that I'm borrowing, that I'm renting, than the home that I can't get this is the only thing I can't get a new one of. Anything else I can replace, I can get a new one. I can't do that with my body. So the idea that I would take a shortcut, do the thing that pisses me off when people do it on something so massive and so important, like, you know, it's like, it was mind blowing. Like, when I realized that, I was just like, you are an idiot. Like, you are doing with your body what pisses you off so much when people do it with their homes. What? Like, I mean, I love a good, like, aha moment, and I love when I see something that I'm like, oh, you know, that makes it really clear. But it also makes me feel real dumb. Real dumb. Like, what high horse have I been on that I'm like able to tell people, like, no, like, I just have all the information, like, don't, you know, and then get so pissed off when they take that information and try and take shortcuts, and then it doesn't last, and and I was gonna do that with my health, with my body. I was supposed to be like, you know what, no, I don't need the experts. I don't need that. That's fine. And I don't need the actual, like, you know, medical grade. No, I'll just look on Amazon. I'm sure Bezos can drone me in something by tomorrow. Like, I will, with such conviction, preach to people about how they deserve amazing spaces, comfortable, and that I will preach. I'm good. But then I take shortcuts with my health. McDonald's. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to say out loud. But it's necessary. Like, what a necessary realization. And it makes it so, like, cemented in me when now I'm looking at it like that, right? Like, now I am looking at myself like that client that doesn't fully surrender over, and in a couple of years, all the cheap shit that they bought on the internet is breaking. It's all breaking. Like, that's what's going to happen to me if I try and take if I don't surrender to the fact that I need an expert, surrender to the fact that I deserve an expert, that this body, this one that I get that has done such amazing things for me, like, it made the 2 coolest humans on the planet. I'll fight you for it. That's fact. And then I treat it like garbage, or I don't think that it deserves an expert. I don't think that it deserves support. I think that it should just do it alone. No, we're not. No, that's not a good look. That's the look of somebody who has just resigned to becoming sicker, and that's not who we are anymore. So yeah, that was a good realization that I had. So now every time I have that thought or that uncertainty or whatever, I have like a very specific client in my, like, person in mind that I'm thinking of that worked on that damn design for so long, and then they went and just, oh well, I found something that looked exactly like it online. No. So I'm just going to envision, right, whenever I start to have that thought process or start to second guess if this is necessary, if this is worth it, or if this is what I should be doing, I'm going to plug that person into my brain and be like, this is who you're acting like right now. You're acting like so-and-so. We don't want to act like so-and-so. That's not who we are. But right now in this moment, I am very grateful for so-and-so, for being that mirror, and for being that little avatar that's going to snap me out of any doubt that I have, that seeking out the help of experts doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you incapable of doing it on your own. It makes you someone that values yourself, and knows that you deserve good quality. And my body deserves good quality. It deserves support. It deserves someone who knows what they're doing, and can help me through it and do what I do with my clients and make it easy and fun. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to go to work and go be the expert at what I do, which is not eating correctly. And that's that. Yeah. I'm going to go not be so-and-so today. You do the same.